I think I'm live. I'm still trying to. Hello, lovelies. Again, I am doing this live to. Hang on here 1 second. Hi, Gigi. Gigi's going to be on in about 10-15 minutes. So, yep, we've got Instagram going. And we've got YouTube going. Say hi if you're on YouTube and just let me know everything's okay. And we'll get started in a little bit. Hello. So I see Bailey. Hi, Bailey. I see Vintage Sims. Hi, Vintage. D Walker. Hi. Good to see you. Good to see you. So yeah, Gigi is going to join in a little bit. And I'm going to start us off. And I'm actually going to have some water. I have this big container. I'm going to talk about minimalism one day, but not today. So I just have this like big container. I think I got like, I don't know if it was tofu in it because I have to drink a lot of water every day. So this is like 4 cups. So let me know how you're doing. Hi, Gypsy Publisher. Hi, Michaela. Yeah, hey, Michaela. It's good to see you. Yep, so I'm just keeping it natural here. I'm sitting in the space that I record my yoga videos, and I like to sit on the floor. I'm sitting yogi style because that's what I'm comfortable with. Those of you on Instagram, so if things look weird, it's because I'm actually on the floor. I'm not like up. Those of you on Instagram, head on over to YouTube. Instagram's probably going to ban me for this. Yoga Bliss Dance, because when Gigi comes on, it's just, we can't simultaneously be on both. We get a lot of reverb. So if you're watching on Instagram, I suggest coming on over to YouTube if you like. So let's see. Javaris, hi. Hello, hello. So today, okay, so let me get started. Today, we're up to Manipura Chakra. Okay, so I'm doing a series, goddesses, called like, why is it important? Okay, so do check out the first and second one in the series that I have already. We did Muladhara in the intro one. We talked about Svadhisthana yesterday. And today is Manipura, sometimes called Manipurika, but generally Manipura. And that means City of Jewels is one of the translations, is City of Jewels or lustrous gem. And I hinted that I would talk a little bit more about that, like why it's associated with jewels. Okay. Hi, Gigi. So Gigi's over here too. Okay. And I know you'll be coming on soon. So I want to tell you guys a story to explain the importance of the third chakra. Because I think a story is just much more, it's just more interesting than just like information. You know, we learn with stories. So as many of you know, if you've been following the channel, I've always taught, like that's been what I do, whatever subject I'm teaching. And I got the biggest job of my life. I was very, very excited. I got a job as a professor at a college. And I was so excited, you guys, because this was the first like real job. I thought, you know, I had like smaller jobs, part-time jobs, you know, no health insurance. Okay. Those of you in America know what I'm talking about, right? Because, you know, health insurance is such a big issue for us, right? So, and I was already, you know, I wasn't in my 20s at this point. So to get this job was just a big deal. So I moved up to where I was going to start teaching. I was teaching art because that's my background. So I was going to be teaching fine art. And you guys, teaching the art was great. That wasn't the problem. It was, I started being bullied by colleagues. So there were these 4 males. I won't say more about them, but who really, really started exhibiting abusive behavior within days of my hiring. So I'll give a really quick example. And again, you guys got to remember, if you've heard the story, I have so many new subscribers. Folks are always coming in. So at our first meeting, at our first faculty meeting. Okay, so I'm feeling really good. I'm like, yeah, I'm full-time professor, and if you may not know, but as a professor, you go through these steps of like assistant, and then oh gosh, I forgot what the next one is, but then like full professor. And full professors, you're have a job for life. Anyway, at our first faculty meeting, these men started to really talk very bad about a woman who had left the department. I didn't know about her. I never met her. They basically had run this woman out of the department. Like literally, it was like a Western. Okay, so let me get my bearings, because even talking about it, it like kind of pulls me back into that time, which ties into the chakra I'm going to talk about. So yeah, it was like the old West. They ran this woman out of town, and I only found out about it. Now I'm the new hire, right? And I'm hearing them talk about this woman and how bad she was, and the joke, literally they made a joke that she's back living with her mother. Now you guys, I'm not, I don't know. I mean, I'm absolutely not perfect. I have flaws and stuff, but I wouldn't at a professional meeting start saying like, talking about this person in the sense of she had, she has to live with her mother. Like it just seemed really petty. And I'm like, well, what happened? What'd she do? Anyway, these men began doing similar things to me. Just real bullying. Let me know in the comments if you have had, and I know many of you have had, let me know if you've had like toxic work environments. So things like, again, just to make it really real and not just like woo woo, meetings and things going on behind my back. That I would have to find out, like from the secretary would tell me, like secret meetings and different decisions made without me being there, without me being told at all. Even to the point of like telling students not to take my class, or like, oh, that might not be the class you want to take. Like just really, really bad things. Anyway, what happened is, and this is how it gets to Manipura Chakra, the third chakra that we're talking about today. After that, you guys, I quit. And this was a while ago, and I use it as a teaching story, but the Great Resignation, right? So let me know. I've had some clients from here, some of you here who have resigned jobs. That is happening. People are just fed up with their jobs, partly because of COVID. Hopefully YouTube does not ban you if you say COVID. I'm not like going in depth on it or making up any theories about it. But, where people have quit the job and then the people who stay behind have to work harder, that type of thing. So I really understand that if any of you are going through that. So I left this job that on paper, it paid well. My family was really proud of me. Finally, she's got a real job, not all the woo-woo stuff. Before that, I was running a yoga studio. My family did not understand that. Okay, people. I'm from the islands. They just were like, they didn't understand that. So anyway, after that was so demoralized. And this is where Manipura Chakra comes in, the Naval Chakra. So if you've ever been bullied at work, in a relationship, and, as a child, sorry guys, got to stretch my legs, that chakra gets damaged because it has to do with your self-esteem, your willpower. And so I literally saw it. That's why I'm telling you the story. I literally, guys, packed up my little Hyundai. It was my first car ever. It was a Hyundai. And it was an accent. And my good friend, he always says to me, the car is so small. It's not even a period. It's just an accent. I was like, that's really cold. Like, just tone it down. All right. I drove off in my car, you guys. The car was so full. I couldn't see out like through the rear mirror. I had to be looking out, from the side mirror. It was just packed with all the stuff that I took with me. And I like went into the woods. Okay. Maybe I'll tell the woods story another time, because that got really weird. I just like escaped to a cabin in the woods. And it took me years. At that point, I was diagnosed with depression. I'd always been an anxious person, but the depression was added on, and a therapist diagnosed me with PTSD. Okay. So let me know in the chat, those of you who are live, if you've had workplace trauma, toxic workplace. And part of it, you guys, I can say that now, I think part of it I did go in with a weak third chakra from childhood issues, in terms of standing up for myself. I was very scared, and bullies, right? They have power. I'm not going to go into it for various reasons that they are empowered, but also bullies kind of try to choose who they're going to bully. This group, though, as I said, had done this repeatedly. This was known throughout the college. The woman who previously left, the previous professor, she had folks on her side, and then there was the department, or people who were like, oh yeah, maybe the department is right. So literally the whole college knew about this. So anyway, for years after that, I suffered from, and these are the signs for you watching this if your Manipura chakra is damaged. I was so depressed. I basically was like almost homeless, which is not as strange as it sounds. Like, you'd think somebody's like, oh, you had a good job, and like, how did this happen? But I lost my sense of my own self-esteem, my willpower, my energy it was just blasted. I always use the analogy, it's like they just blasted through me, right, with the bullying. So those are indications. If you've been through a toxic work environment, you've been bullied either as a child, in a relationship, or parents who were bullies, or siblings who were bullies. So I'm going to read some of the comments, and then let me just check in. Yes, absolutely. We're talking about the solar plexus. Yes, Manipura. Yes. If you're just joining. So I was just telling a story of I went in with, I would say, a normal Manipura chakra, that energy. So think of it, like I said, it's an energy. It's sort of beliefs, manifestations of your own personal energy. So I would say I was like low to normal in that area. Again, having had some trauma before, right? Actually, like a very bullying father. I'll share that with you guys. Like, my dad was really, really, was basically a bully to my mom and all his children. Okay. And I'm this like kind of delicate artistic child, and so, yeah, you can imagine. So share in the comments if you've had that, where, so it started with the parent, but I went in confident into the job, you guys. So when I left, like I said, it took me years to recover, years and years to recover. And so let me tell you a little bit more about Manipura. This is the chakra, again, that has to do with autonomy. So you deciding what you want, you taking steps. I think for me, taking steps to leave the job was my attempt was to really save my life, save myself, but to establish my autonomy. And to regain my will. So that took me years and years to regain that. I actually ended up staying with a friend. So in the woods, I was homeless, but I was in somebody else's cabin, house sitting. Anybody coming from another channel? Some of my viewers, there's another channel where she talks about house sitting. So I had the wherewithal, I had the mental strength. I still had the emotional strength. I got a house sitting gig for like 6 months, like a really long one. And so I had a place to stay. So I just packed up, left the job for life. I left it after getting tenure. And I was like, I'm out of here. I can't be around these people, like really toxic people. So the glands that Manipura chakra governs are the pancreas. I've got my notes here on a big sheet of paper. The pancreas, the adrenals. And as you know, those are, again, adrenals, fight or flight. That's also first chakra, which was also weak on me. So the pancreas and the adrenal glands and the whole digestive system. So let me give you some keywords. Manipura governs fire. So fire, our sense of heat in our body, our temperature of our body, our hot or cold, that balance is Manipura chakra. It has to do with hunger, nourishment. So do you assimilate your food well? Can you digest what you take in? And you guys, this is metaphorical as well. This is the beauty of the chakras. So when you, for example, it's also linked with sight. Can you digest what you see? For example, are you watching violent films or things that are upsetting, can your body literally digest and metabolize it? That is Manipura chakra. Nourishment, metabolism, and very much, and speech. So people who have a strong third chakra, one of the indications is they're typically able to speak well, speak clearly, speak with authority. That's just a gift that goes with that chakra. Any questions at this point? I'm going to put some questions up. So I'm just going to pop a question up here. Again, if you're on Instagram, guys, come on over to YouTube, Yoga Bliss Dance, because you'll be able to ask questions that I can actually see and answer. Hang on. Hi, Full Moon. I'm not even sure how to, women's joined. Yeah, come on over to YouTube. It'll be a little bit better experience. I just have a hard time staying at one position. I either always find a reason to leave or make a reason. Yeah, I mean, that can be a variety of things. I would love to talk with you about that. I think that many of us, and it's a little off topic, but it's many of us are not doing the work that we are here to do. So, Verisind, I would say that it's very likely you just haven't found something you love to do. Now, I want to say with teaching, I do think ultimately, and this is the gift of meditation and just maturity, okay, of these gray hairs. I ultimately think I was not in the right place. So I do think people are responsible for their behavior. So yes, and I believe in karma, and things work. They work themselves out on a spiritual level. But it's still important for us, of course, to do our best and act properly. So those people did take bullying actions, but I look at it now as the universe was like, this is not the right place for you. So if you are not in the right place, you're going to want to leave. You're going to want to leave because it's not your full expression. Okay. I'm going to put up vintage Sims. Let's see. I just left a job because they threatened to take away my disability accommodations after I went to HR. Wow. About not having working bathroom for months. See, people, this is the society we're evolving out of. I'm going to leave the comment up. A society where, and I'm not just saying this is like American society, but a society where somebody doesn't have a working bathroom, right? So it's just like, come on, it's just, so on this is a time for me to say, I believe as a society that we are evolving from Manipura up to the heart. So let me give you some negatives of Manipura and then I'll take more questions. The negatives of this energy. So somebody who is imbalanced or at just literally a low level of development, they're going to be super dominant. And I would point out some political leaders, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to specifically be divisive. But when you see somebody who is really angry, okay, this is the hallmark, people. If you leave the video now and you take nothing else, you see somebody who is angry, red in the face, they're just like, bleh. That's an imbalance of Manipura Chakra, okay? They're really on the rage side, anger, and we all can slip into that. Of course, that's human, right? Somebody may have done something to you, but I'm talking about, I love this phrase. Somebody said, if you squeeze an orange, what comes out, right? It should be orange juice, right? So if you're squeezed, if you're squeezed, pressure is put on you, what comes out, all right? I thought that was so deep, like, what comes out is what's inside you, right? If you squeeze an apple, if you apply pressure, apple juice comes out. So what about when pressure is applied to you? So we all can fall into that. And that's one of the reasons you would want to work on this chakra is if you have anger issues, okay? And like I said, we all can slip into that. Absolutely. I was recently really angry about something and I did some spiritual work on it. And you guys, I had such a sense of relief. And I won't go into that. But I did some work to clear that. So let's see. So some physical issues. Now I'm not a doctor, and now Gigi's probably soon. Gigi, you can hop on, and I'll let you on in a couple minutes. And I'll see you pop up. Some of the issues that metaphysically are related. Again, I'm not a physician, and you still need to get medical care. Okay, this is not replacing medical care. But ulcers, anything to do with your digestive system, ulcers, diabetes, hypoglycemia, any sort of digestive issue, just even like bloating, gas, your digestion is not strong. This is the chakra you want to work on, is Manipura. Okay, and I'll say at the end as we go on, once Gigi is on, I will share some things you can do. But let me just see. So Yeah, I mean, that's the main thing. It's right in the middle of the body. It's around the navel. Some say it's a little below, some say it's a little bit higher. Feel it like a little bit above, right? But centered on your navel. And the color in modern times, we're like, oh, yeah, yellow, like the sun. But traditionally, it was considered a dark blue, kind of, but like a blue that's like described as like a rain cloud, like a dark, I don't know. So it sounds like, well, it's a dark blue, it's a rain cloud. That was traditionally. Now with everything rainbow with chakras, we're going with yellow, okay? Which I feel is like, yeah, it's a super vibrant, sunny color. So that makes sense. Yes, I'm going to put one. You said speech. Yes, I always used to get told, uh-huh. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I talk like a white girl. Sometimes I still do. I moved from New York to Florida when I was younger. Okay. So yeah, like speech, different speech patterns. For those of you who are not in the Black community in America, because that's specific, might be in some other places. So I will share with you because my audience is from all over, though primarily the US. That is a thing in the Black community. If you speak in a very sort of more like standard English, like a newscaster, like the newscaster English, you are often belittled, you're often put down about how you speak. I have to say, though, there's a deeper, again, let me get all metaphysical. This is human nature. Here's what I found as I'm studying. You guys know I'm studying Italian. And the way you speak, it's more of it's like a tribalism. And so if you speak differently, in many cultures, you'll be attacked. You'll be attacked, right? Not necessarily physically, people, hopefully, right? But you'll be attacked as like, wait, why do you sound different? Because it's about fitting into your group and how your group, it's believed they should sound. So this is really deep. This gets into root chakra issues. So, thank you for sharing that. It's not so much how you speak, whether you have an accent or not. It's more about that when you speak, however you speak, like if you speak Gaelic, if you speak French, if you speak Swahili, your language among that, in that language group is considered clear, it's powerful, it's forceful. So like a Martin Luther King, someone who speaks and people like listen and it's powerful. Of course, that's also throat. Let me let Gigi come on. Gigi, are you ready? You've got your, I'm waiting, maybe she doesn't quite have her audio. So stay with us. I'm going to talk about what you can do. And this might be a good time to plug my chakra course. While I wait for Gigi, I see Gigi's head on the camera, so I'm going to give her a moment. So my chakra course is, I believe, truly, truly like one of the best out there. First of all, you get live contact with me. A lot of these courses that you can buy, whether it's about energy healing or anything, you don't get any contact with the teacher. They just set it up and you're like on your own. My course, we have 4 live sessions. Okay, Gigi, you ready? Give me 1 minute. It looks like she's still setting up her sound. She might be still setting up her sound. I think she's not ready yet. Okay. So it's a beautiful course, you guys. It runs over 10 weeks. And we meet 4 times in that. And I group the chakras in 2s. And we go through, I teach you specific meditations. I make sure you're doing the meditation properly. And more importantly, I teach like potent points on the body for different chakras to get the meridian energy flowing. And like Gigi was saying yesterday, that was one of her favorite things. And that's what also makes my course different. Okay, is I mix in what I learned as a massage therapist, right? And I do shiatsu, which is like a type of massage that is done, of course, using your hands, but like you've seen it in movies. Shiatsu is done, you can use your elbows, or where you see the woman like walking on somebody, that's shiatsu. Okay, so I've taken what I learned from that and put that in to help open the nadis and the energy flow to different meridians. And so I teach about 3 or 4 points, because you don't need more than that activate each chakra, as well as the meditation, as well as journaling things, as well as how to make an altar. All of that is inside my course. Janae, I'm going to put you on. I hope that you can, I hope that your volume is okay. So let me try to put Janae on. So the link to my course is up in the chat if you want to check it out. Those of you who are serious, hold on. You know what? It might not show in the chat. Hold on. Let me just, It's on my website, is intheflowofmagic.com. And that's where you can find out more about the course. And it is on sale. It's $100 off for early registration until Sunday, until tomorrow night at midnight. Now, my clock might be wrong, you guys. Like if you go to the page and it looks like it's expiring sooner, it's because I messed up the clock. Okay, I'm not really super techie. But at midnight tomorrow, Sunday, I'm going to take the sale down. The sale is for those who register early. This is especially if you're a healer. I find the best students. Gigi, I think I'm going to add you right now. Let's see if this works. Oh, Lord. Lordy. Lotta.
Hi, everybody. I'm not sure. I think Vivian. Oh, okay. I was like, I think Vivian got cut off. Hi,
I know, right?
everybody.
You just take over. Just be like, hey, hey. It's, I know, but I'm here for her. I'm standing in. So how are you, Gigi?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Oh, my goodness. Again,
I'm not
Instagram.
going to stay for long today because the boys are like already.
Oh, geez. You're like, oh, mommy's live. This is the time. We need her now. Okay. Well, Gigi,
Yeah.
if you want to say anything about what I've shared so far, or you were really fascinated with the third chakra. Just can you talk about it as a woman in terms of what I was talking about, like bullying and getting your own willpower together? You want to talk about it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
When we started the course, I knew that I wanted to work with Manipura. But I didn't know where it was going to go. And I believe it was one of your affirmation.
Yeah.
I think it was an affirmation video.
Okay.
I think it may be from the course or it may be from your YouTube. But that one really touched me because it was talking about stepping into your power and stepping into your power. And it said something about ancestry as well, which is, it's root chakra, but it was some type of correlation there that just really touched me. And from then on, I was sold. I was so sold with Manipura.
And you were also working, you were finishing up your yoga teacher training. And so you were just kind of figuring out how you were going to present yourself out in the world after having this training and stuff, and kind of your independence almost, right? So this
I
is
was struggling with I think accepting that this was something that was realistic for me to have as a job. And I felt like even before this, that was something that I was struggling with in other industries as well, because I was in the restaurant industry. I was a bartender, a hostess, food service worker. I worked in hospitality, and it was a lot of bullying.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, definitely, especially working in New York City. Working in, not to say that it's just really tough. It was really tough.
No, it's a tough city. Who's from New York in the chat? Give us like a yes if you're from New York or another city like Philly, LA. The cities are, people can be rude.
You're working in a part of the city where it's like, because I was working in Union Square as a bartender.
Oh, okay. That was Union Square. Okay.
Yeah, and that was pretty much like, I'm not going to say it was unusual for me because, like I said, I had a hospitality background, but I was kind of like bullied into believing that wasn't for me. Like, I don't want to get too into it because I don't want to trigger people. I know maybe somebody might even be listening to this.
Right. Well, I mean, that was your experience. It doesn't, they might view it differently, or maybe they didn't know. I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but I think people. So anyway, how did you find working with Manipura shifted you, or what did you like in terms of what you learned in how to work with that chakra before the boys take you away, like before the kids get you?
So I do still have imbalances. I feel like this is something that I have to, it's the stubborn chakra. I think that that's the word that you use.
Yeah,
It's a stubborn one where I have to work on it all the time.
it is good. Well, let me pause you for a second. That Gigi, that's the main thing I get with people who come to my channel. They're like, okay, yeah, so what are the bija? What are the sounds? Okay, yeah, I'll just do that. Okay, bye. No, it's an ongoing, it's like if you were in therapy, you don't go to therapy twice. Oh
Right.
yeah, thank you. I understand all my problems now. I
Or
understand.
maybe they do. And that's the problem.
No, you have to, it takes continuous work as you evolve as a woman, as you get older and your situation changes. So yeah, thank you for saying that. It's not instantaneous, but I've seen changes in you, and I've said that to you. I've seen changes in you. So go ahead.
Yes, and I was. Ooh, it's kind. This is more emotional for me than sacral.
Give her a moment, everyone. We're gonna take a deep breath together.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. What can you
So,
say though? What do you want to share about it?
well, I do, like I said, it's something that I have to work on continuously. And I think that even now, even
Yeah.
this part, being on YouTube is another.
No, very real. Like you guys, I meet so many like wonderful, wonderful, talented women because that's who I work with, and they'll just be scared. Like, I'm not going to say this person's name, but like I have a friend who is kind of on YouTube, and I'm like, girl, you really need to be on YouTube. This stunning, stunning girl. I was like, oh, I think you should maybe do it in your language, because I'm like, you'd blow up in your language because there's less people than like in English. But it's just, it takes a lot of it can bring up a lot of fear to
Right.
even be here. And we're live, which is worse. Like, what if you had to suddenly sneeze and you're like, coughing fit? No, I'm not trying to hex you or anything. Like, suddenly be like, ah. It takes self-esteem. Yeah, it takes self-esteem. So, but share with us what you have noticed as the change. What changes have you noticed? Let's give people some
my
encouragement.
changes are definitely, even though I do have still a little bit of shyness, I know a lot of people that know me, they're like, shy, but it takes me a while to get warmed up to people. But now it's a little bit easier for me to talk to people for the first time. If that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
Before I would just be like, kind of like, oh, laid back. And then I would speak out to people, but now it's more, maybe I'll start the conversation. I'll have something to say to start the conversation. And that definitely, I wanted to kind of talk about like the relationship between, because it kind of sounds like throat chakra to me.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
But yeah, I definitely have the emotional help from working with this chakra. Now I have some physical things that are going on, and I think that is kind of what pushes me back, what slows me down in this area. And then in life with starting a business. So it took me a while. It took me a while to kind of just like accept that I have what it takes to start my business.
And that's what I saw change in you. You guys, it took her a while to get to this, but that's what I saw change in her, is her fear of starting her own teaching practice. And she has like gotten over that, like basically. That's what I've seen.
I didn't even realize that it was a fear. I would just always say, oh, well, it's just that time, or no one signed up yet, and I'm just going to wait. But I think that it was blocked.
It's your energy, okay? And this may trigger some of you. If you go in with, oh, yeah, I don't know, people don't want what I'm teaching, people will sense that. Even not even just even if they see you, but literally you guys like little like energy, like, I don't know if I'm going to take her thing. So that confidence that we all need, especially as women, Gigi has developed more of it, but it's a process. It's definitely a process. Like Gigi, I think you should have a channel. Let's get personal here. Let's ask Gigi, why do you not have a YouTube channel yet? She's my student. I ask her these tough questions. I do. Guys, don't you think, give her a yes or start if she should start a channel. Seriously. You have wisdom to share as a mom.
It's definitely Manipura.
You're gonna blame her chakra now. It's not me, it's my chakras. I actually want to get a shirt.
I don't want to blame the chakra. I don't want to do that.
Please work on that. Selena says, thank you, goddess. Just give her, and Dee says start. Selena. And Dee is just a lovely, lovely person. And she's like, start your channel, start sharing. Like I said, as a mom, and you're focused on that, like postnatal, postpartum and the trauma, and just getting back to your life as a woman and balancing motherhood. And this is totally aside from my course. Okay. This is just really would love to see Gigi. I'd be so proud of you and see you out there. And well, I know someone in your life would probably be like, oh my gosh, she's on YouTube. If she starts a channel, I will put a link, because I think you have a lot you could share. I really do. And you're starting, like, it doesn't just get a light. You guys, I put my thing on a book, prop it up. I've seen huge YouTubers talk about how they had their phone on like a stack of books.
That's funny. And I have this is my ring light here that I'm using.
I don't even have a ring light, people. Okay, and I have
it all set up.
I use a sun lamp. That's what is hitting me here.
You have good lighting.
Depression. It's an anti-depression lamp that a good friend of mine. She had two. Like, why do you need two anti-depression lights, right? Anyway, all right. She's working on her Manipura. She will start a channel. The kids will run in while you're doing yoga, and you'll be like, "Mommy's filming right now." Aw. I think people would love that. I'm hearing like little like sweet little child voice, you know. So, all right. Anything else you want to share with us? You like the points for Manipura. You like the points specifically. They had a really good effect on you.
The one that is, it's the one between the big toe. I can never remember.
Okay. That's a liver.
Is that spleen or liver?
That is liver.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one was super sore when I first started doing it. Mm-hmm. But now it's not like that. I can
really?
Kind of feel that it is it's tender. It's still tender. Mm-hmm. But like I said, it was extremely sore. And I remember you saying, you know, that is where it's a lot of blockages there and toxicity.
Mm-hmm. And we can talk about that. I actually have now that you've said that, I actually have an idea of something for you in terms of that. And that is a point on the liver. So, all right. Can you stick around? Do you want to stick around more? Or if you have to go, let me know.
I'm definitely probably going to have to go, but I'm going to listen. Okay. I'm going to chat.
Oh, that'd be great. Stay in the chat. Chat with Selena. Chat with all of us. And you're starting a channel. There's a lot of people. Start
soon, you guys.
I mean, I think you'd be great on YouTube. I really do. I mean, you're already here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really do. We can talk more about that. Okay, so you got to go. Let me try to just make it me, or
I think I can just leave.
Can you just leave? Okay.
Bye.
Okay, good. All right. So, Gigi, thanks for coming. So I want to talk to you about how you can fix or work with this chakra. All right. So again, ulcers, diabetes, hypoglycemia, any digestive disorder, also just poor digestion, right? Again, I'm not a doctor. This is sort of metaphysically and in the yogic tradition linked with it. And I've seen it myself as when I do like hands-on massage work with someone. So all of the organs in the center of your body, the liver, spleen, pancreas, all of those are linked with that and your digestion. So right food is really important for Manipura. Eating the right food for you. Okay. I am not going to try to tell you. There's another channel. I'm not going to call her out. I think that would be like mudslinging on YouTube. But this was someone who was proclaiming being a vegan. I'm going to just say that because I was literally up till 3 a.m. watching her video and reading all of the comments. Okay. This is a young woman who was proclaiming everyone should be a vegan. And then she was doing raw for a bit, you guys. Okay. Now she's saying, okay, women, we literally we need to eat lard. We have to have meat. We have to have, she went from here. Now she's over here. And my one problem with that, she does say, look, this is my experience. But then she goes on to slam anybody who's a vegan. And my belief as a mature, the wise women in my audience, you'll follow me really well on that. And my bliss babes will as well. But listen, the thing with diet that I can say, I do believe one type of eating is better, but everybody's body is just a little bit different. Some more different than others. Okay. And so some more sensitive than others. But there are people who've thrived on a vegan diet, and this young woman just went off now that she's not a vegan. She's like on vegans, and she had a particular health issue that she blames on veganism, which I actually do not think, from my knowledge, and I studied macrobiotics years ago, I don't think it was as a result of being vegan. I think you can be vegan improperly, and I do think it's a little tricky to be a vegan. Not that it can't be healthy, but you have to pay attention. Potato chips are vegan, people. Brownies can be vegan. All right. I could be a vegan and living on brownies, soda, and that. So anyway, I put that out there to go back to how to fix Manipura Chakra, the right food for you. And what does that mean? It has to be the right amount of food. In America and in many Western countries, we eat too much. Okay. I know I should know this. I want to say that it's so beautiful. The amount of food that you should take in is what fits into your palms together like this. So again, it's your hands, right? So a bigger person, a bigger man or woman than me, their hands would be bigger. Hello. They need more food. Do you get how, even though it seems kind of primitive, it actually makes sense? Right? So I shouldn't be eating the food of somebody whose hands are this big, right? It should just fill your cupped palms at each meal. So it's the right amount of food for you, and the right type of food. So that's why I told the story of this girl. I can't tell you whether you should be paleo. I'm not going to try to tell you if you should be paleo or whether you should be vegan. I do really believe that the studies are in that a primarily plant-based diet, it just, when you look at who dies of heart attack, blood pressure, when you look at it, it's the people who are eating more plants, right? Less meat. That's just statistically and overall. Now, that doesn't mean you have to become vegan. Like I said, in America and in the West, we eat, when you think about the steak, I'm going on a rant here, but I mean, this is me, and I do eat a small amount of meat. And that's just me. When you look at what's served on a plate in America, I always say, and this is not not trying to be bitchy, but literally that I feel like in India or other parts of the world, that would feed 4 people. I'm being completely serious. That amount of meat would be sliced into 4 and served with some vegetables or some noodles or some rice or some yam. Okay, you get what I'm saying? We're eating way too much, and our animals are kept in horrific, that's just not debatable, horrific conditions. So just like I said, this young woman upset me because I saw in the comments now people who were like, oh, okay, well, I'm not gonna do that anymore because you said, vegan is bad, and now they're like, oh, I'm gonna go eat this, and it's just you have to listen to your body, do your own research, just all of that. So right food, the right amount, and it has to be easy to digest for you. Lately, for me, I have not found that I'm digesting meat well. My body, I literally break out and literally around my eyebrows if I eat a lot of meat. I'm sure a doctor would be like, oh, but you have to know your body. If I eat meat, it's about 2 or 3 days later, I will break out right around here. I can eat small amounts. I feel good with a certain amount. I'm adding more plants. It's your body. Sometimes, which I do give her credit for, she talks about, and this is true, we don't actually have the right enzymes to digest. So that is a whole other issue. It's not even, are you vegan or are you paleo and scrunching down the bacon as like your primary food, which I hope paleo people aren't. Like, you need, bacon, but not like, how much bacon can you have? But a lot of times we have messed up our digestive enzymes. We don't have the digestive enzymes. We don't have the flora, right? So it's not even the diet that's wrong, which is what I thought with her with the vegan thing. It's like, yeah, you literally can't digest these plants because, and she's like, yeah, I found out I have bad gut bacteria. And I'm like, yeah, so, work on that. Anyway, fasting. Now I put that out with caution. I literally wrote caution here. Fasting, again, in this sort of metaphysical and spiritual tradition, is seen as a way to rest your body. The same way that you don't work, none of us work 24 hours a day, right? Like, you just don't, your body, even your heart, you guys, the heart like literally rests in between, like it's pumping, and that pause is a rest. So fasting, again, this is something you'd ask your doctor. Most doctors don't know anything about it, but I would, if you wanted to do a short fast, that's something you should research. And not if you have any medical condition, right? But that's what helps to stimulate the digestion. So the right food for you in the right amount, also at the right time. If you eat, something, you have a steak and it's midnight and then you're going to go to bed. Oh, it's probably not a good idea to do that regularly, right? And this, but we all do it. Cold showers. Now, I'm not telling you I don't do the cold showers, but the cold showers stimulate the fire in the body. Like, it's a weird reversal. Like, when your body is like gets really cold from a shower specifically, your body will crank up the heat. It's like, oh, okay, what's happening in here? What's happening? And it'll crank up the warmth, and that helps Manipura. I'm not doing the cold showers. I'm just telling you, okay? It's invigorating. It will stimulate your body. And then I have some yoga poses here to tell you that will also help. So let's see. Yeah, Gigi, thank you so much for coming on. Yeah, it's the quality. No, yeah, so I'm totally not anti-meat. I really do believe that some people's bodies need meat, but it doesn't need meat that's like this, bigger than the plate, okay? like the meat hangs off the plate. This is true. This is true. Try to get the best quality you can get. Again, think of our ancestors. Were they pumping their animals with hormones? No, the animal was like wild. I mean, and then of course, then you get into like, animal husbandry or whatever you would call that. They were still eating like grass and stuff, right? They weren't eating poly, blah, 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 buxicane, So anyway, don't get me started on our food supply. I'm really worried about us as a world because our food supply is just messed up. And especially if you're poorer, it can be harder to access good choices. So we're talking about Manipura Chakra, and that's the Naval Chakra, all with digestion. So also, again, I mentioned obesity with the root, but also this chakra. If your digestion isn't strong, you literally won't burn the food. So think of someone who's like naturally like kind of thin, right? Emaciated even, not saying that they have, not that they have an illness, not that they're anorexic. Some people, it's like the fire is too strong and they burn, like they just have to eat, right? Because they're skinny and they just can eat and eat and eat. So there's a spectrum, just like I mentioned with the other chakras. So I'm going to talk about the negative aspect of this. Like I said, somebody who's angry all the time, easily irritated, that means the chakra is it's overactive, and you need to kind of cool it down. You need to like cool and calm it down. I actually would cut down on meat in that, and that gets into sort of like how to explain it. But so I'm not going to try on this video, but I would, if you find that you are someone who's easily irritated and angered easily, I would actually decrease the amount of meat a little bit and just experiment with that. The psychological is attachment for this chakra. What that means is this is a chakra, when it is balanced, of people who are dynamic, who like go for what they want. I always say it's a businessman or a businesswoman, very very bright, dynamic, and you kind of get out of their way. They're like the managers. They're running things. So it has to do with attachment, where it could be attachment to anything. Someone who, like, people who like collect things and they're super, super attached to it, or like if they collect cars, or they have a car and they're just like obsessive about their car and keeping it clean and shiny. Attachment is sort of the negative side of this particular chakra. So yeah, let me see what, there's a comment here. I just want to see. Oh, interesting. Yeah, if you are going to fast, again, I am not a doctor. First of all, if you have any medical, talk to a doctor, but I would not try to do some crazy long fast your first time. I mean, literally, you guys, look up intermittent fasting, right? If you're healthy, check that out as a possibility. So a fast doesn't have to be this like, people do crazy things to their bodies and sort of sometimes too drastic their first time. Like maybe start with a day. A way that's recommended in the teachings is like you eat dinner and then you're fasting through the night. You don't eat in that day, and then you eat a dinner the next day. And so you've fasted, right? You've done like a 24-hour fast. So just do your research with that. I'm not advising anyone to fast. And I want to tell you about the different yoga postures. So let me any questions for me? Put your questions in the chat right now, okay? So that I know what else I'm going to share, and then I'm going to wrap up. So put questions in the chat now about this third chakra, the navel chakra, and I will be able to get to them. I'm not doing like readings or anything like that today. I'm just continuing with this series of why the chakra is important. And I'm also putting my website in the chat. And as I said, if you want to really dive deep into the chakras, which is what Gigi did, consider taking my course. Okay, it is absolutely worth it. You have the course for a full year, and then you get a PDF of the materials to have. We meet live. Like I said, you get to meet live with me. I teach you the specific points, what they're for, what chakra. I talk about journaling. I have affirmations. I have herbs, all of that put together in a course you can go through step by step. And that's what Gigi did. So yeah, any questions? Okay. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that you were thinking of fasting. Yeah, this woman, like I said, if it works for her, what she's doing, but now she's like telling exactly the reverse of what she was saying for like years. And I'm actually going to go there. It's probably going to get me in trouble, not whatever, from her followers, but I don't think it will. I'm sure there's some overlap. This woman was raising chickens, and like, I'm no like rocket scientist, but I'm like, I don't think I even knew she was vegan, but I'm like, if you're raising chickens, to me, that means you're either eating the chickens or eating the eggs, right? So some people in the comments were like, girl, I knew you weren't vegan because you're raising chickens. So, but this, she had her big announcement, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of figured you probably were eating animal products. I'm not the vegan police, but I just figured you were. So the announcement of now she's anti-vegan, basically, if you listen to her, that's what she comes off as. Now she's like, we have to do this. It's like, okay, whatever. Why don't you keep researching and don't tell people what to do, but just really speak from your personal experience and don't make any big generalizations. That's what I recommend. So let's go to those of you who do yoga. What are the postures that would help this chakra? The main one is spinal twist, pose Matsyendrasana. Spinal twist. I may have gotten the Sanskrit name wrong because I haven't looked at the Sanskrit. Gigi, can you tell me if I got that name right? But spinal twist, where you sit and you can do it with one leg straight. It can be more advanced, and you're twisting your spine like this, like a corkscrew, and you look back behind you. That's a good one because that stimulates the digestion and stimulates the organs there. a lot of you may know that part of how yoga works is by like the squeezing action in different parts of the body and then releasing and like the blood flow increasing to that area. Peacock, which is a very hard pose to do. I put that out there. Most of you aren't even going to know what it is. You can look it up. It's a very hard pose to do. You're balancing on your hands and your elbows go into your stomach and you're like literally like this. It's like a plank and your weight is on your hands and the elbows dig into the belly. It's very advanced. Let's see. And chakrasana, which is like wheel pose, where you push up from your back, and oh, my back just cracked. Those are very good for this third chakra. Those are things that I would do. How do I set an intention for me to be more into my gift of knowing things before it happens? Catherine, I think that's a great question. That sounds like something that I would do a reading on. So check out my page. I do that as a service. It sounds like something that you would want to get a reading and get a full answer on that, you know, to find out like what's your background, what's holding you back, and what you can do. And my readings are very empowering. So yeah, it is Matse. Why am I thinking that's fish? Matsyasana. Anyway, not using a lot of Sanskrit lately, people. So anyway, if there aren't any more questions about this chakra, if you want to ask a question, if this particular chakra is over or underactive, like last chance, like I said, pancreas, adrenals, digestive organs, also your muscles. And this actually correlates also with traditional Chinese medicine. With the muscles. So for instance, if you tend to have muscles that just feel like weak or are unusually like flabby in their tone, that can point to this chakra. If you're, again, have trouble going for your goals, and that's what most of you care about, right? Like going for your dreams, going and doing the things that you want to do, being more fearless, that's this chakra. So I always emphasize it. I think it's nobody pays attention. Everybody's like, oh, root chakra, like it's that is the base. That is a certain level of awareness. And then we are meant to move through these levels, right? To the sacral and to Manipura, to the city of gems, the city of jewels. It's a level where we're becoming more individuated. I do want to give a warning. It's the level, like I said, where we are fascinated by the world. And I touched on that with the attachment. It's where it's like, I always give this example. It's like Gary Vaynerchuk or those of you who know him, like they're really all about their business. They're all about their work. Often they're a lot about their money, their accomplishment. So athletes, star athletes, there's no doubt they have a strong third chakra. I was just watching something about Kobe Bryant, who I really admired, even though I don't watch basketball. An extremely driven man. Like that man worked. There was talent, of course, but he was about the work and the just diligent, practice. That's someone who has a strong third chakra. Okay. So you can kind of see it in the person's life, what chakra is imbalanced. So yeah, if you have any more questions, I'd love to kind of or examples of someone who you think might have a strong third chakra, or conversely, a weak third chakra. Oh yeah, you're interested in the third eye. Yeah. I have videos on my channel, Catherine, with about the third eye and giving. I would recommend, I know everybody wants to open their third eye. If you truly open your third eye, I mean, you can start having seeing things. So I warn everybody, be careful. Like my course, it's gentle and it's not gonna, if you're coming in from a fairly balanced place, it's not gonna destabilize you. So that's important. But yeah, everybody's into the third eye. They want to I want to see other dimensions, let's see. Verisand, I'm sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name, really. I have a hard time getting started with goals and things I want to do. I talk about what I want to do, exactly, but then I procrastinate. Yes. I mean, we all have that to some degree, right? Gigi, and that was her thing. She's like, I want to work on this. I want to start putting my teaching out there, right? So I would really focus on that third chakra. Like I said, I have videos are free on my channel. You can follow them. There's a lot of information there. If you want to go deeper, then check out the course. But that is the chakra. If you find you're talking, right, throat chakra, you're blah, 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 but it's not coming down. It's not coming down. The energy to activate is the third chakra, right? So can you see that? Like the energy comes down, you get the idea, right? Maybe really inspired by spirit. You sort of get a vision of what you want, right? And then you start expressing it. But those folks, that just stops here. I'm so glad you asked this question because it led me to this. So for a lot of us, it just stops here. Like, I'm going to do this and I want to do that. Nah, nah, nah. We express it, but it doesn't have the grounded of the root. It doesn't have the ambition. It doesn't have the power. It doesn't have the drive of the third chakra. You guys, that's why I'm so interested in this, because I can see it in people. It shows in your life. So yeah, somebody else. Do you have a question about? Yes, Kobe. Oh, yeah, no, Kobe was, I mean, like I said, I don't watch basketball, but as a person, he was just worthy of admiration. He was absolutely meditating. In fact, in the story the person told, they interviewed him, obviously before he passed away. And I think maybe fairly close. I'm not sure what the span was. But you're going to love the story, you guys, in terms of focus, right? And just having all your everything aligned. They said that they got there really early because they didn't want to mess up the interview with Kobe. So they're setting up the camera, they're setting up the sound. They're like waiting, right? They're like, okay, he's going to come. They pass through the hallway. He is sitting in the dark in an office. And they said he wasn't looking at his phone. It appeared that he was meditating. He wasn't looking at his phone. He wasn't watching anything. He was just quiet with his eyes closed. And they're like, yes, Kobe will be with you in like 20 minutes. He's like taking this time for himself. And I was like, whoa, so just impressive person. Really, really. I was really upset when, he passed away. And like I said, since I don't follow sports, what I realized was that I did admire him. And so strongly ambitious, driven. So he's a positive example of a strong third chakra. Mm-hmm. Yep, you don't make it past the throat. Exactly. I'm laughing because it's like, oh my God, when you see it, you're like, yeah, that's like, wait, maybe there's something to this chakra stuff. Yes, focus on the third chakra and also the root, like getting more grounded. Again, I have like a coaching session. We could figure out like what exactly is happening for you. For you, I would say more of a coaching session than a reading, because your question is very, very specific, and we could kind of figure out what you could work with. Yeah. Hi, Rose. On root. You're binge watching them. Okay. No, the root chakra, like I said, that's why Gigi and I were laughing. Like, that's all anybody wants me to talk about. And I'm like, I'm going to move on. I want to move on to the upper chakras. So guys, tomorrow will be the heart chakra. Will be very, very important. It's the center of the chakra system. And as I said, as a society, I think we're moving from third chakra. Again, think about the West. Just look like at a big picture. We're about technology. That's the third chakra, by the way. That's the last thing I wanted to mention. Technology, computers is linked with the third chakra. It's a fire energy of communication, and the fire quality. Right. And of course, still throat, but it's really linked with the third chakra. People who might be good with technology, third chakra. So tomorrow is heart. I will talk about that. Start doing some yoga. There's a lot you can do with that. Start taking some cold showers. I'm going to work in a different way on my third chakra. I'm not going to do the cold showers. And the right food. The food is important. The quality of your food that you're putting in your body. Let's see. Yeah. So this is very common. What happens, those of us who talk about what we're going to do but aren't able to start, this is really common, really, really common. The idea comes in. It comes in. You're like, right? Ajna. I see it. You may even be able to daydream it beautifully, which can be good. But it comes to the throat. We talk about it, but to actualize it, it has to come down more in your energy body. You have to take action is the third chakra, right? And to root it, to really bring it to fruition, the energy has to move all the way down to the root so that you can create what it is you can give it form, right? Like a computer, my wonderful Mac that I love so much, right? I don't know who really refined it, thank you, Mr. Jobs. But it was an idea at first, right? It didn't exist. So things do start here. They start here, right? They come down and they get more solid, and then they become a thing that we can touch, and that's the root chakra. But to put them, right, the engineers had to work, they had to code, they had to find the materials. That's the third chakra, that action. So I hope this was helpful. I would love to see you inside Chakra Soul Alchemy. We are registering now. The discount ends on Sunday. And if you are a yoga teacher, I would love to have you. If you're a massage therapist, yoga teacher, if you're interested in certification, which is a higher level. I started to say, I just find that people who are interested in for their work and their spiritual growth do better in the course because they're really serious. So like Gigi, here, the women who have chosen to come for certification, and you might meet more of them as I finish with my first round of students, they're more serious and they really take it seriously. And then they have like big growth in their lives. And it is a process, like Gigi was saying, and I'm saying this also for her, you have to keep doing the practices and you will see shifts. You will see that you become bolder. You're not going to go from being an introvert to being like a loudmouth, but you'll be able to like express what you want to express and still be yourself, right? You'll still, it's not going to make you someone who you're not, but it'll allow you, if you have a desire to put yourself out there, working with the chakras, taking my course, going in depth will allow you to kind of unfold who you're supposed to be and not to keep your dream inside you, not to keep your dream, unblossomed. I don't know if there's such a word. There's not such a word as unblossomed, not blossomed. Anyway, guys, I got to go eat supper. I will be here 5:55 tomorrow. Goddess willing. Okay. God, goddess willing, right? The duality, masculine, feminine. I honor that. And so I plan to be here 5:55 for the heart chakra. Be here, be on YouTube, Yoga Bliss Dance. If you're on Instagram, that's where you'll find me. I think my Instagram folks probably got bored when they couldn't see who the other person was who was talking. But if you're with me still on Instagram, thank you so much. Guys, I'm going to say goodnight and stay blissed and blessed. Mwah. Be well. Bye-bye.